Welcome guys, welcome back to a new episode. In today's video we're not going to talk about the foundation because last week's we've talked a lot about the foundations of trading, such as what trading is, liquidity, risk management, journaling, etc. This video is more like a chill video where you don't really have to learn a lot. This is more like an insight video. Today I'm going to talk about the type of setups we trade. So if you're a beginner and you just only saw theory and things about trading, but you're not actually seeing trading or setups, you're just seeing what trading is and the logic behind it. But in this video you're going to see setups. It's a bit of an insight and maybe also a bit good for your motivation that you're seeing what you're working towards and not just pure analytics and data every single video. So in this video I'm going to show a couple of types of setups we take. But first it's important to know a couple of things. So these types of setups are not random. They're based on probability and liquidity. So first of all, liquidity, already mentioned in an episode, is the base of everything we trade and the core of price action, and also on probability. These types of setups, people have traded these for years, and after those years people said, oh, these types of setups have a high probability and that's why we trade it, because at the end of the day we trade to make money. If a setup has 30% probability of hitting take profit, why would we take them? Because we only win 20% of the times. That's why these types of setups have high probability and are really fit or style of trading inside of PA trading. So quickly, before I start with the types of setups, you're not seeing TraderView right now, you're seeing our PA trading Discord, and we have a full beginner course as mentioned in several videos here, starting from easy with things we also mentioned in the videos to expert, like we're going to talk about right now, because expert, of course, at the end of what you're learning, you have to learn how to actually trade. Once you already know everything, you have to take concrete steps on how to trade. So here you see expert, and we're going to talk about origin, failure, move to high, loss, retest, and reversal pattern. Origin, we'll start with that. It's maybe the most easiest way to trade and also the highest probability, but unfortunately this trade won't appear every 5 minutes, but let's take a look. So inside these threads on Discord you have information what is an origin, why it's important, and image examples. I'm not going to read directly off it. You can pause the video, or even better, link is in the description. Join the server and check it out yourself. So what is an origin? An origin is the first gain and hold after a low is made. An origin is not a random gain and hold, it's the gain and hold of a big move. Origins are important, as you see, because they act like support and resistance and they have a high probability. That's why we trade them. Look, an origin, you can have these on all sort of time frames. A hold, of course, when price makes a high, high low, high, continues an uptrend, you have a hold because price hold it and didn't drop. Why is an origin not just another gain and hold? Because an origin is the base of a move. So for example, this picture is a daily. So this is not a 5 minute, this is on a daily time frame. We see a type of reversal here. We make an entire new low here. Price goes up, goes up, goes up, and finally creates a hold. Price didn't create a hold here, we just up. Finally, price created a hold to continue the uptrend. In this zone, and this is an example on Bitcoin when we were in the bear market in 2022, 2023. So you create a hold here, price makes new highs, and then later price comes back to this hold to get the liquidity and make new highs. This is an origin because this is on a bigger time frame, so this is not just some random level. This is a gain and hold with a very high probability, a lot of liquidity is here, and this is why it works. If you zoom in a bit more, also on the daily, but this is the big impulse, the big move to the high, price, very sharp pump, creates the hold here, then on the retest, oh, it's not actually the same thing, my bad, it's another example. So big impulse, this is the hold, this is the origin of this big move, this big pump, because as you see on Bitcoin, it's a very big pump, and this is here the hold, and price perfectly retests it and then makes the move fully. And of course, if you trade origins on a daily, if you have high profits targets, you're going to be in the trade for a while, but that's not necessarily bad. You can also have a tight stop loss and trade this move to here and then be out, but of course you can leave a runner open. This is the last example and maybe a bit more difficult because it's a lot of things in a tiny space, but I'm going to explain it. So this is an inverted chart, doesn't matter that much, but think of it the same. Price makes a new low here, gains, and here's the hold. So here's your origin if in case price gains. Now price comes back to this origin as you see in the circle, but price taps it, makes a 6% move almost, but liquidity zone support is not big enough, or resistance in this case because it's an inverted chart, but the same thing, and price just dumps through it. But still there was a reaction, not like in the previous example that price perfectly taps it and moves to the moon. No, here price taps it and gives you a nice trading opportunity of 6%, perfectly tradable. As you see, the wick was nice, respect, very good trade, but then price still dumps through it because this was not the biggest origin, not the biggest level, the most important level. So I often say, if you don't understand this, it's okay, read it again, listen to it again, but origin should be something very important. Quick recaps on origin is the gain hold, so the hold of a big move, a big impulse up, a big impulse down, just a very big move. And then in that zone, in that origin level or zone, is a lot of liquidity, support or resistance, and price will likely retrace to that level and make a sharp impulse again to continue the trend. Next up we have failure, but I'm first going to the move to the high loss retest, this one here, MTH loss retest, because failure is maybe the most complex thing, so we're going to leave that for the last once you're already in the spirit of these trades. So let's look at move to the high loss retest. Let's open this thread. Move to high loss retest is basically when price makes a new high, move to the high, you lose the move to the high, move to high loss retest, and you retest it and then use a trade. So quickly this definition, I already got it. Move to high loss retest is a trade setup where price first breaks through the move that made the high and after comes back to retest it and make the same move but just continues down. There's a lot of ifs, what is important and when do you not take the trade. I'm not going to go too much into details, but again, read this for yourself, and even while reading these things, you're not going to be a professional trader, but you can actually already look at charts and just look for these types of setups, because these types of setups are on every time frame. Because first example, we're on the 15-minute time frame. So price goes up and makes a high. This is a 15-minute in Ethereum, doesn't really matter, but price makes a high. This red candle here is your move to the high, because this is the last time price retested and made the high. So this is your move to the high. Then price breaks through it, blah blah blah, and then price retests this move and continues the trend. Perfect setup. This is a picture perfect move to the high loss retest setup. And of course, if you're already advanced and already thinking move to the high loss retest, move to the low gain retest, it's basically the same but in a different direction, but this is way easier for beginners. Example 2. Price creates a high. This is actually an inverted chart, but let's act like it's not. So here's your move to the high, because this is the last time price retested and made the high. Price dumps through it, retests it, and makes a new low, continues the trend. So perfect setup as well. And here it actually does 2 times, but wouldn't be trading that surely not as a beginner. Just move to the high, loss, retest, and you have a perfect trade, because price just retests it, taps it, and then continues the local downtrend. So next up we have reversal patterns, and in a reversal pattern we actually have 3 types of setups. I'm going to talk about them, but not in specific. So first of all, something you should know by now already, if not, no problem of course, but this is a reversal. You have a low, swing high, lower low, gain, hold, and new highs. So price comes from up, and here you have a reversal in trend. So there are 3 types of reversals. Type 1 is this one. So you have a level that you want to get swept, or is a POI, point of interest. So price goes there and you immediately just long. This is the easiest setup, because you just have to look where your levels are and just press long. This is similar to an origin trade, because you just look where the origin is and long, or short, just entry the trade. But this is different because, for example, you can have those reversals on a 3-minute, on a 5-minute, on a 1 hour, just on very low time frames. It doesn't have to be a big level that was created 2 years ago and price finally retested. That's not necessary. But so first type of setup is you get to that level and you immediately enter the trade without confirmation. Expect price to pick up enough liquidity, and that this is a big enough zone of support that price immediately makes the move. Now there are a lot of information here you should read about what your stop loss should be, your TP. I would surely read all of this, but then we move on to type 2. So type 2 is you have your reversal here. You still need to have, of course, a level that you want to get swept, or an important POI. So you want a full reversal to be there. You have your low, swing high, low, you gain, and then your hold. You want to entry on the hold. So you're betting on, let's call it betting, you're betting on that this is the hold and price will make the move. Why do people take this trade? Because this is called when you trade with confirmation. Because you already have this confirmation that this happened. Price already tapped your level perfectly and then gained. So you have the confirmation that price is showing strength, that it's gaining, and then we can easily say, of course, on this retest, the probability is there that price will just retest there, pick up this local liquidity, and move to new highs. So then you entry on the hold. And this is a bit more difficult than the first one because you really have to see where is the hold going to be. Is it going to be down here? Is it going to be up here? There are certain rules, and that's also explained here. I'm not going to talk in depth about that, but this is a bit more difficult for beginners. But it's also a very valid setup with some form of confirmation here in this trade. And then we have the last type, and this is maybe with the most amount of confirmation, but also maybe a bit more boring and it takes a bit longer. So you still have your level to be swept, point of interest, you have your reversal here, price makes new highs. So price sweeps this, makes new highs, blah blah blah, and then comes back to this level. It doesn't have to be this level, it can also be this level, so it's in this box. So it's also important to read this and learn about this. So price could retrace to this level, but also to this level. So price made new highs, and then comes back here, and then you immediately take the trade. Why is this different than trade 1, you might say? Because you say type 1 reversal is also you wait, and you immediately entry. Because for type 1, you're waiting for a level to be swept. While here, you sweep this level in this reversal, and then you just expect price to, when the fuel, the liquidity runs out for this move, to come back here, slowly come back, pick up this liquidity, and then continue the trend. Here, when to use which type, a lot of information. This thread, this info about the reversal pattern is picture perfect. It's literally perfect. The fact that you can read this for free is insane, by the way. So check it out for sure. I'm not even exaggerating here. It's really insane that I'm giving you this free info for free. Then we move on to the last one, the failure, and this is going to be a bit more difficult, and you might not understand it, but it's alright. So what is a failure? I already explained this. I think a failure is when a failure to lose is when price tries to break below a level but fails and then moves up, or failure to gain is when price tries to break above a level but fails. Couple of examples here. Don't look at this. This is here. This is your fail, because, can I zoom in? You have your uptrend, uptrend, uptrend. Here you make a new high. So in this uptrend you expect price to continue the trend. Here is your lower low, and you expect a higher high. But that doesn't happen. Price stuck here, can't continue the trend, can't go up, and price breaks the trend and moves down. So this is your failure to gain, because price failed to continue the uptrend here. Can I have an, oh no, that's the only example in here. So that's what a failure is. So I'm just going to explain it, not really beginner friendly, but it's alright. If you don't understand it, you'll surely learn it also in the PA trading course after this trading course for beginners. So you have some kind of reversal here, as you see, gain, hold, new highs. This is your reversal. In this swing high, you have your failure. What I just mentioned is when price fails to continue the trend, but this is very locally. This is a 50-minute time frame. So in this, blue box, I'm going to zoom in on this blue box. So this is your high in this blue box. Price is locally in an uptrend, 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 lower low, higher low. Here, price can't continue because price doesn't make a higher high. So this is your failure. This is your failure level. Then price continues a reversal up, 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 and then price retraces and picks up this failure. And actually in this example, picture perfect again, it does it twice, which sometimes happen. So this is a failure trade, very, very simple in my opinion. Of course, I'm already more advanced. It might seem a lot. Also, this explanation is a bit difficult, but there's a lot of wording. It's very well explained, but it might be a bit difficult at first. Doesn't matter, because a failure type of setup is not the first thing you're going to trade. I didn't trade this type of setup for the first months, even 1.5 years. Now actually I'm not taking too many of these trades because it's not difficult to identify, but you really have to have your head there, as I mentioned, with looking the right level, because that's the basic. You can execute very well, but if you have the wrong level or the wrong zone, your trade is worthless. So I hope I motivated you a bit that this is actually where you're working towards, and you're not working towards something boring. This is actually quite fun seeing the setups, and then of course if you win the trade, if you make profit, that's of course incredible. But so don't really have to take anything away from this trade, from this video, but just know that this is where you're working towards. These are the main types of setups we take, and you can already, if you're already curious, you can join the server, take a look yourself. Otherwise, just stick to this beginner course, and after, if you go to the PA trading course, you can see there at that course we will talk about every subject, every trade in a separate video where we go in depth about stop loss, TP, when or when not to take this trade. So that's all coming, no worries. For now, thank you guys for watching again. You're really grinding, you really want it, and I really like that, and I'll see you guys in the next video.